Hey everybody, Ito here, and as promised I'm here with a new video letting you know whether the tournament edition of the new Mortal Kombat game is worth your money. Let's take a look. Originally retailing for $149.99, the MK Tournament Edition box is obviously very large, which is a plus because the front of the box has some awesome artwork. The back of the box shows off the box contents, also with some pretty neat graphics on it. All these graphics are on a cardboard sleeve that slides over the primary box, revealing a plain black box with a lot of tape on it. Opening it up shows a custom cardboard top, which is where you will find the USB cable wrapped in white paper. The controller itself is in a plastic bag, which when removed shows that the box actually has a good amount of cardboard pad to it to make sure the controller isn't damaged during shipping, which is a huge plus. Created by Performance Design Products, this company spared no expense when making this awesome looking controller. The arcade stick feels like it was made from a very solid MDF wood material, which feels really sturdy. The top of the unit has a plastic shield covering the artwork on the stick. This artwork, in my opinion, has very subtle imagery when compared to some of the more elaborate artwork seen on current arcade sticks released, which is a welcome sight. The button layout is that of the classic MK arcade game layout from MK3 and MK4, which adds that nostalgic feel to the stick. One thing about these buttons is that they are concave buttons rather than convex ones, which are typically seen in the newer sticks today. Convex buttons are more like the Japanese style buttons found on most Japanese arcade machines. Most US arcade machines, however, use concave ones like those found on this controller and on the original MK arcade games. This makes this controller that much more authentic. The buttons on the stick are hap-made buttons, which are typically found on a number of arcade machines today. The joystick bat is also made by Hap. This joystick is fairly accurate, but feels a little bit more mechanical than that of the joysticks found on the original MK arcade games. Those sticks had a slightly looser, slightly less mechanical feel to them. Regardless, the joystick on the unit does a great job and is very responsive during gameplay. The unit opens up using an awesomely designed metal gold locking mechanism with the letters MK imprinted on it, as well as a few dragons and the infamous MK logo. Opening the unit reveals the inner electronics of the unit with a plastic shield of sorts covering it. This plastic shield has Mortal Kombat printed on it, and it makes the controller look that much more cooler. The shield can be removed, and if you wanted, you can change out the controls using the controller. There's also a little storage area inside the unit where you can store things like a USB cable, your game, your favorite action figure, or a co-host. Well, maybe not a co-host. While the storage area looks pretty big, the plastic shield takes up most of the space, so you can't put a ton of things in there, but honestly, what are you going to put in there anyway? One thing I always hated about home arcade sticks is that the way they feel on your lap. Sure, you can put it on a small table and play, but your lap is usually the best place to use one, but it's definitely not the most comfortable. PDP luckily solved this problem as the base of the unit is made from memory foam, letting the controller contour to your legs, leaving the player with a comfortable gaming experience. Now, if they only put some of that foam on the top of the unit to prevent wrist chafage. Hint hint. Now, the new MK game is said to be made with this controller in mind. The default control setting of the game really threw me for a loop at first. The reason for this is that I had been using this control scheme since MK1 came out when I was 12 years old in 1992. So when I first played the game, I was trying to do uppercuts with the top left button, formerly known as high punch. This action is now defaulted to the upper right button, formerly known as high kick. Luckily, you can switch the button config in the game's options to whatever you desire. The physical button layout, though, does play a big factor into using the stick for other games. This controller was made specifically for MK, so using it for something like Street Fighter, while possible, isn't really ideal. But I'm sure you can find other titles, especially ones like simple downloadable titles, to use this arcade game stick with. From its solid design, very cool artwork, and very cool button layout, the MK arcade stick is an MK fan's dream. But can I really recommend it for everybody else? Well, the MK button layout does make it kind of restrictive for other games. But that's not to say you can't play it for any other game. I'm sure there's a few. But is it a good value? Well, as of the making of this video, PDP.com is selling the Xbox 360 arcade stick only for $129.99. So if you take into factor that the $149.99 bundle comes with a game, you are getting a pretty good deal. If you're looking for the Xbox 360 version, your best bet is probably Walmart.com. As of the making of this video, they still have some of the bundles in stock. But check that out very soon because they're probably not going to last long. If you're looking for the PS3 bundle, you're going to have a slightly harder time. Not many retailers have it in stock right now. Your best bet is probably eBay.com. But as of right now, it is selling over the retail price. So good luck with that. But what if you're in my shoes where you already bought the collector's edition and you want the tournament edition for the arcade stick? Well, what I did is I bought the tournament edition and I sold the game to a buddy of mine for $60. You could even sell those extra, downloadable coupon cards to some other friends to get some of your money back. So that's an option. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned to RetrowareTV.com for more videos. Take care.
Yeah.